Welcome, family, friends, faculty, and fellow graduates, to the graduation ceremony for the class of 2020. It is an honor to be here with all of you to congratulate the class of 2020. This is an amazing accomplishment, and I'm excited to help celebrate this incredible milestone with all of you. My name is Sarah Hitchings, and I have participated in Link Crew, been on the DECA officer team, and was a captain for the varsity girls tennis team throughout my 4 years here at Ponderosa. This fall, I plan on attending California Polytechnic State University to study communications. Now let's take a look back on what the class of 2020 was able to accomplish. The students, as individuals, were able to achieve great things. But when we came together, we were a stampede. For instance, looking at this past year's Wish Week, we were able to raise nearly $60,000 and granted a total of 5 kids' wishes. Our class also Our class also participated in 25 varsity sports and 47 clubs and extracurricular activities. Lastly, and most importantly, you all were able to quickly adapt and succeed with remote learning, just showing how the class of 2020 defines Ponderosa High School's motto: we are proud, productive, proven. These are major accomplishments that you all should be proud of. Congratulations to you, class of 2020. Oh my God. And now, I have the pleasure of welcoming Aiden Clifton, Evelyn Curtis, and Gabriela Gonzalez, who will be singing the national anthem for us today. Aiden is planning on attending University of Colorado Boulder to study neuropsychology. Evelyn is planning on attending University of Colorado, Colorado Springs to study creative performance and technology in music. Gabriela is planning on attending University of Northern Colorado with a major in Mexican American Studies. Please join us by standing for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there.
Thank you, Aiden, Gabby, and Evelyn, for that amazing rendition of our national anthem. And hello to everyone celebrating this milestone with us today. My name is Jessica Cook, and in my time at Ponderosa, I was a 3-time state finalist and national qualifier for DECA, as well as Ponderosa's DECA chapter president in my senior year. I was also a varsity track and field athlete for the past 3 years. In the fall, I will be attending the University of Oklahoma to pursue a dual degree in international business and risk management. I will also take part in OU's Honors College. Our first speaker today is my friend Ty Martins. Whether you see Ty compete in DECA, where he was an honorary officer, a 2-time state finalist, and national qualifier, or you see him perform in baseball, where Ty has been a varsity captain for the past 2 years, you will always see Ty's hard work, dedication, and passion shine through. Ty will be attending Northwestern College this fall to play baseball and will be pursuing a degree in business administration. Please welcome Ty Martins.
All right, I would greet everybody on this side if I could see you, but we're having a little bit of issue with that. All right, the dictionary definition of greatness is, no, I'm just kidding you guys, but I bet I scared a few of you. No laughs, okay, whatever. But if you guys don't know me that well, I don't really like to beat around the bush. I like to get straight to the point, and I'm not afraid to tell you exactly what I'm thinking and how I feel. So in all actuality, the main point of my speech today will not be greatness. Greatness can be achieved by many who simply follow the rules and choose to stay in line. Greatness isn't the pursuit of some summa cum laude title that you and 50 of your other classmates get. It's the desire to be the best at everything you do, regardless of whether or not someone will actually recognize it. Maybe the role of best is fulfilled in the valedictorian, or maybe it's the MVP of the football team, or the best older sibling that has to work every night in order to help their family out. I walked the halls of Ponderosa High School for 4 years, and I know I saw lots of bests in my time there. Maybe it was staying up an extra hour after practice, trying to figure out what the heck disc, shell, and washer method were. Sorry for all of you who didn't take Calculus BC with Mr. Lynch. I promise you'll understand that joke in college. Or maybe it was going to English class and reading a book about some moo cow with the sound of the yop in the background, questioning literally everything you knew about English and even life itself. And too bad Mr. Weller isn't here today. Or maybe it was going to Zoom meetings every week that would mostly consist of awkward silences and little kiddos screaming in the background. Or maybe it was trying to convince your mom to call you out of one more access meeting, because the Lord knows we were all trying to miss as many Mustang minutes as possible. Or maybe, my personal favorite, it was booing the freshmen a little bit louder at the opening assembly. Sorry, Mr. Ottman, that isn't going anywhere. Whatever the best is, there's a reason that school and society should recognize it. Unfortunately, complacency is a poisonous concept taking over in our world right now. Students will say, if I can just squeak out that 4.0, I'll be recognized as the best students who got a 4.4, excuse me. If I only study 15 minutes for the part I want, I'll be destined to get it. Doing the minimum to attain the highest reward is no reward at all. It's the desire to drive farther and push harder than anyone else that separates the idea of best from your greatness. Now, my job is not to stand up here and tell anyone how to live their life, especially after everything that's happened these past few months. But if I can impart anything on you guys, it's to reject the notion of complacency and good and great and the incredibly overused phrase, shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land amongst the stars. Actually, the probability of landing in the cold, dark vacuum of space far outweighs the odds of landing amongst the stars, as Mr. Cunningham taught me. So I want to do the best that I can do because I know I can do it. I don't want to settle because I know I'll be rewarded the same as someone who worked 100 times harder than I did. If we take away the best and only recognize greatness, then there's no true sense of greatness at all. Ponderosa's motto is proud, productive, proven. Proud. Everyone who graduates today should be proud of the colors cardinal and gold, and beam with pride as we get to tell everyone in the world why we're so prepared for life and all the challenges that come along with it. Productive. Again, everyone graduating today was productive in some regard, whether you graduated by the skin of your teeth or as the president of 15 clubs with a 4.3 GPA. Proven. This one's always been a little bit more difficult for me. A very wise teacher once said, if we're so proven, why do we feel the need to change? And that got me. Some would say that change is inevitable. It's a powerful tool that alters how we perceive our world. That seems like a pretty accurate description of Ponderosa over the last 4 years and our world over the last few months. There's been so much change, particularly in these last few months, some that I loved and some that I truly didn't. But maybe Ponderosa has proved through all this change that it has nothing left to prove. Or maybe Ponderosa has proven that it doesn't. But one thing I do know is that every student who graduates today still has something left to prove we can be the best college student. And for those of us who have already left for the armed forces or are preparing to leave, to prove we can be the best soldier that serves and honors our country, to prove we can be the best mechanic or lawyer, husband, wife, father, or mother. Because being the best in whatever road we decide to take still matters, regardless of what people will tell you. So that's the main idea of my speech today. Never settle for the idea of greatness. Be better than that, because everyone who graduates today can be. Thanks for a great 4 years, Ponderosa. Thank you, senior class, for making my time here so special. Thanks to my parents for making it so amazing. And lastly, thank you to my Lord Jesus Christ for making it all possible. Thank you.
Good morning, graduates, dignitaries, families, and friends. My name is Isha Jammu, and I am the historian for the National Honor Society, as well as a member of both Sources of Strength and the National English Honor Society. This fall, I will be attending the University of Colorado Boulder to study computer science. I have the pleasure of introducing to you a very enthusiastic and involved senior at PHS, Evelyn Curtis, who will be performing her solo, A Million Dreams, for you all today. Evelyn is president of Pegasus Choir and has been heavily involved with the Ponderosa Theater Company, marching band, and newspaper. She is performing her solo today to recognize the dreams and aspirations that motivate the class of 2020 as we move on to fulfill them. Please welcome Evelyn Curtis.
But it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care if they call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. could be a vision of the one I see. Oh, a million dreams, so it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away. Special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds. I don't care if they call me crazy. Oh, we can live in a world that we design. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. Oh, I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. Oh, a million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. However big, however small, let me be part of it all. Share your dreams with me. We may be right, we may be wrong, but I wanna bring you along to the world I see, to the world we close our eyes to see, close our eyes to see. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. Oh, a million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. Oh, a million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. For the world we're gonna make.
Thank you, Evelyn, for that amazing performance of A Million Dreams. My name's Jenna Wallace. I've had the opportunity to serve as a DECA officer for the past 2 years and as a vice president my senior year. I've also been highly involved in National Honor Society and student government. I'm so honored to introduce to you today our next speaker, my best friend, Shay Springer. Shay is such a special individual who has poured her heart and soul in everything she has done over the past 4 years for Ponderosa. She's been an avid member of Sources of Strength, Link Crew, a co-president for student government, and then she's been Pondo's very own founder of Stang Gang. Shay will be attending Utah State University in the fall to study nursing. Please help me welcome Shay Springer.
When life hands you lemons, make lemonade. This is the quote that I attached to the bottom of my school email in 6th grade. To this day, I have yet to figure out how to remove that attachment. So, if you've ever received an email from me that includes this tacky yellow quote attached in bold to the bottom, I apologize. But as I've had to stare at this well-known quote on my computer screen for the past 7 years, it's dawned on me how much meaning this simple saying holds. Life has many lemons to offer, some sour, some sweet. Sometimes those lemons are handed to you on a silver platter, and sometimes they come soaring your way when you're not ready. The real kicker is, we have no control over many of the lemons we're served in life. You may have applied to Harvard University with a 4.5 GPA, a 1500 SAT, multiple AP courses, and hundreds of hours of community service, but the reality is, once you submit that application, you have no control over the response you'll receive back. You unfortunately cannot drive yourself down to Cambridge and inform the director of admissions that you will be attending Harvard in the fall. We have no control over others' actions or the decisions they choose to pursue. We simply have control of ourselves. But more specifically, we have complete control over how we choose to treat others, regardless of the lemons we're served in life. We live in a very fast-paced world where everyone is dealing with their own battles and struggles. It is easy to excuse ourselves for unkindness when things are not just right or our mood is a little off. It is easy to act kindly towards others when things are going well in our lives or when we're feeling at our best. But perhaps the real measure of our kindness is if we can be so when we're tired, disappointed, or suffering because of an unkind deed done to us. Are we kind when all is not well? My brother Jackson was a freshman this year, and with freshman year comes no driver's license. So with no other options, it has been my privilege to be his personal Uber most every day. However, it is never just my brother who gets in the car. He's always kind enough to offer someone a ride home, or he brings all his buddies to hang out after school. I can remember one particular day where life had chosen to throw me some pretty sour lemons. It was one of the longest, most stressful days I had had in a long time, and this led to a slight unraveling on my part. That afternoon, my brother jumped into my car with two of his friends. From the second they hopped in, I was on his case, griping and fussing at him over absolutely nothing. I was simply fed up and released the anger and stresses of my day right onto my poor brother who had done nothing wrong. Now, this may be the most simple example of what not to do, but that's what makes this principle even more crucial. It applies to our everyday lives. Every day comes with new challenges and struggles, yet we cannot let our situation determine the way that we treat others. You can either choose to be kind to others, even when life is not kind to you, or the opposite. It is said that life is 10% what happens to you and 90% of how you choose to react to it. The choice to be kind ultimately benefits us as people. According to a study done through the Mayo Clinic, kindness has been shown to improve mood and decrease stress levels. Being kind is also shown to increase dopamine and serotonin levels. So at the lowest part of your day, choose to show an act of kindness. Whether it be big or small, your brain will thank you for it. Now, class of 2020, the lemons you're served from here on out will not all be sweet, and sometimes they may seem overwhelming. But put yourself aside and don't let your situation determine the way you treat others. Do all the other things, the ambitious things, travel, get rich, get famous, innovate, lead, fall in love, find your success. But as you do, in a world where you can choose to be anything, choose to be kind. Thank you. I would now like to welcome our wonderful principal, Mr. Tim Ottman.
Well, good morning, everyone. I just have to say how wonderful it is to see all of you this morning. Last year, my daughter graduated from Ponderosa High School, and we had to deal with 2 feet of snow, clearing the stands and the turf. We dealt with freezing weather and all wore gloves and beanies to get through the ceremony. I don't know about you, but that seems a little trivial right now compared to what we had to do in order to make this happen. I would like to thank our superintendent, Dr. Tucker, school board, Derek Cheney, Sue Dakovich, the operations and maintenance team, communications team, security team, graduation team, and everyone else that made this graduation a reality. Let's give these folks a big old hand. I also want to thank each and every one of you, the class of 2020, along with your parents, teachers, staff, and administration at Ponderosa and the Douglas County School District for your leadership, resilience, patience, determination, and flexibility during this incredibly stressful time. To build on Shay's inspiring words, at Ponderosa, we have the saying, "Dude, be nice." And kindness, empathy, and respect are in our values. That is as much important right now as it has been ever. Please remember to treat other people with kindness and respect and have empathy for others. Simply, dude, be nice. And now, graduates, I'd like to honor you as a group for your outstanding academic leadership and scholarship. Ponderosa graduates who have earned a GPA of 3.5 to 3.74, please stand and be recognized and remain standing. Ponderosa graduates who have earned a GPA of 3.75 to 3.99, please stand and be recognized and remain standing. Ponderosa graduates who have earned a GPA of 4.0 or above, please stand and be recognized and remain standing. Ponderosa graduates who have made the decision to serve our country in one of the branches of the military, please stand and be recognized and remain standing. Ponderosa graduates who earned a scholarship or recognition at honors convocation, please stand and be recognized and remain standing. This year, we are especially proud of these students standing before you. Together, they have earned over $7 million in scholarships. Now to the entire class of 2020, please rise and face your families and give them a round of applause for their support and encouragement over the last 4 years. Parents and families, it is with your love and support for the last 18 years that the graduates before us have achieved this level of excellence. They have earned their place in society and have the capacity to achieve great things. Graduates, please be seated. Present with us today are members of the faculty, staff, and administration of Ponderosa High School. Ponderosa faculty, staff, and administrators, please stand so you may be recognized for your contributions to this graduating class. Also present are several principals from the Ponderosa feeder area, along with numerous district dignitaries. Please stand so you may be recognized. Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, I'd like to invite Mr. Ted Knight, Assistant Superintendent of the Douglas County School District, to the stage for the presentation of this graduating class. As principal of Ponderosa High School, I am pleased to present to you the graduating class of 2020. These seniors have earned significant recognition for themselves, their families, their school, and their community. On behalf of the faculty and staff members of Ponderosa and the Ponderosa feeder schools, I wish for each of you, the proud class of 2020, the joy and fulfillment that comes with achieving your goals and pursuing your dreams. You are our future. Mr. Knight, I certify that these members of the class of 2020 have met and in many cases exceeded the graduation requirements of Ponderosa High School and the Douglas County Board of Education. They have earned the required credits and are thus eligible to receive a high school diploma. Mr. Knight, I present to you and to the Board of Education members the 2020 graduating class of Ponderosa High School.
Mr. Ottman, on behalf of the Douglas County School District and the Douglas County Board of Education, it is my privilege to accept the 2020 graduating class of Ponderosa High School. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Knight and Mr. Ottman. My name is Kayla Fairweather. While at Ponderosa, I ran cross-country and track and was the president of our National Honor Society chapter. In the fall, I will be attending Colorado State University to study biomedical sciences. Over the past 4 years, we have all received a tremendous level of support from our teachers and faculty members while navigating high school. Our teachers were there for us in times of triumph and in times of hardship, offering invaluable advice along the way. I would like to take a moment to thank all of the Ponderosa faculty on behalf of the class of 2020. Talking about our journey to this point would be incomplete without acknowledging the guidance we received from these individuals. With that, I am honored to introduce this year's faculty readers. Mr. Micah Bernhardt from the Fine Arts Department, Mrs. Casey Chahosky from the English Department, Mr. Gary Cordray from the English Department, Mr. Clark Isle from the Science Department, Mr. Randy Huff from the Physical Education Department, Mr. Mike Lynch from the Mathematics Department, Mr. Ryan Monroe from the Social Studies Department, and Mr. Neil Rosengren from the Mathematics Department.
At this time, all graduates will be recognized by name. On behalf of the faculty and staff of Ponderosa High School, I congratulate the graduates on their achievements. These students have worked hard in their academic studies. They have shown great leadership, sportsmanship, and perseverance in their pursuits of excellence in extracurricular activities. In recognition of time these students have spent at Ponderosa High School, each of them have been given a diploma and an official Ponderosa High School alumni pin. Again, congratulations to the class of 2020.
Sarah Lauren Hitchings.
Lucas Colton Rogers.
Aiden Bryn Clifton.
Isabella Lynn Kilser.
Gabriela Gonzalez.
Christopher Joseph Miller.
Evelyn Paige Curtis.
Evan Michael Swartz.
Jessica Morgan Cook.
Luciano Anthony Orlandino.
Tyler Jacob Martins.
Audrey Bell Phillips.
Isha Kaur Jammu.
Taylor Ray Mabin.
Jenna Rose Wallace.
Matthew Ryan Nord.
Shay Elizabeth Springer.
Catherine Nicole Nord.
Casey Devin Audette.
Jordan Nicole Miller.
Amber Madison Baumstein.
Emily Paige Lockard.
Madeleine Anna Craighead.
Michael Thomas Patterson.
Grace Elizabeth Dane.
Kyle James Rennie.
Patrick Ryan Baxter.
Thane Ramey Larson.
Cameron David Klein.
Trent Daniel Lau.
Danielle Renee Magar.
Zara K. Mesney.
Kayla Hope Fairweather.
Jamila Kadira Mesney.
Nathan Michael Asbill.
Rachel Alexis Knight.
Alexander Jagger Cornell.
Keaton Lewis Mahoney.
Benjamin David Beecher.
Cade Stephen Nieslanik.
Jack James Bauer.
Adam Spencer Parsons.
Sydney Ellen Bunn.
Gabrielle Elise Rivero.
William Earl Beshman III.
Isaiah Clark Pursley.
Naya Francis Baltazar.
Andrew Edwin MacArthur.
Grace Louise Basil.
Hannah Raylene Ridley.
Lauren Grace Brazina.
Ethan Quinn Risley.
Emma Paige Brown.
Dawson Janning Roberts.
James Lloyd Dreviscraft Hansen.
Jordan Don Roberts.
Christopher Lee Korn.
Connor Edward Lawrence Knapp.
Max Jordan Donaldson.
Thomas Dale Jason McCurdy.
Ryan Thomas Capano.
Alyssa Brooke Pyle.
Lauren K. Unascension.
Rylan Mitchell Lee.
Simone Kate Daniels.
Gabriel Scott McDevitt.
Mason Tyler Allen.
Meredith Rose Nelson.
Mark Daniel Bender.
Bailey Dale Kuntz.
Hannah Joy Davison.
William Edmund Roxby.
Devin Elise Bender.
Liam Michael Lenz.
Alexandra Elena Chahosky.
Jack Jeffrey Myers.
Alec Parker Cunningham.
Devin Tanner Lamora.
Benjamin Michael Aschenbrenner.
Abigail Margaret Oborn.
Desiree Tiana Ackerman.
Eric Robert Osika.
Ryan Edward Dix.
Adam Scott Reese.
Taylor Joy Edwardson.
Sophia Anne-Marie Palma.
Keelan Rachel Cook.
Evan Matthew Randall.
Nicolette Galena Bell.
Julia Summer Patterson.
Olivia Lee Maple Angus.
Tyler Andrew Romage.
Paris Alexa Cohey.
Elias Angelo Beardman Rojas.
Grant Gunnar Biggins.
Grant Alexander McCulka.
Grant Christopher Carell.
Natalie Renee Robinson.
Justin Mark Cash.
Kaylee Ann Prophet.
Spencer Clifford Beer.
Benjamin Paul Norby.
Ashley Elizabeth Cadena.
Aurora Florentina Ortiz.
Thomas Andrew Downing.
Nicole Taylor Passarella.
Ethan Nicholas Boger.
Carson James Min.
Alexa Marie Brooks.
Mia Colette Lonergan.
Kylie Marie Autry.
Bryson James Norden.
Angelina Marie Bruno.
James Nicholas McMahon Carter.
Griffin Shane Bruder.
Alyssa Faith Peters.
Riley Claire Bruder.
Logan Allen Key.
Shannon Catherine Brewer.
Autumn Rose Laughlin.
Angel Manuel Castillo Bonilla.
Haley Rianne Niles.
Trey Anthony Beasley.
Lily Pearl Peterson.
Emma Elizabeth Blackburn.
River Sage O'Brien.
Vanessa Paige Casasanta. Louis Larry Casados II.
Alexander Tozer Keever.
Hey, do this. Hey, do this.
I still have, these are still my kids.
I know.
Braden Douglas Ames. You're still mine.
Spencer McKay Johansson.
Braxton Leroy Bell.
Okay.
Caitlin Suzanne Connard.
Kendall Ray Frank.
We will now be taking a moment to read some names of those who were unable to attend graduation today. Austin Moncrief Kenneth Ainsworth.
Jordan Allen Leonard.
Anna Lindsay Bishop.
Mackenzie Kalen Manuel.
Jack James Bauer.
Sadie Lynette Maya.
Nicholas Anthony Sina.
Alexis Christine Lee.
Emily Allison Compton.
Nicholas Jacob Kraus.
Riley Chase Clifton.
Mia Grace McKenna.
Olivia Paige Clifton,
Rhea Joan Michael.
Cassidy Ray Klein,
Carissa Valentina Molitor.
Ashley Marie Day,
Mariah Nicole Mortensen.
Kayla Reese Daly,
Youngjin Nam.
Delaney D. Dalton,
Elizabeth Haley Wynn.
Allison Elaine Conrad,
Brianna Ray Payette.
Madeline Paige Davis,
Jacob Zachary Piatz.
Matthew Vernon Bashada,
Christine Alicia Piper.
Seth Blaine Bashada,
Kyle Matthew Peters.
Connor Joseph Basada,
Jonathan Hall Proper.
Dina Marie Donnan,
Allison Kayla Purdue.
Colby Robert Isle.
Grace Judith Collins,
Garrett Michael Jula.
Carter Grant Cloutier, Luke Raymond Billy,
Seth Thomas Foster.
Mickey Aaron Bade,
Tyler Christopher James.
Francesca Lorena D'Ambrosio,
Reagan Emily Hardy.
Michael William Barker,
Maximilian Alexander Wortman.
Megan Nicole Hall.
Kaylee Lynn Versace.
Grace Giovanna Indiano.
Jacob Dale Skelton.
Ian Race Moss.
Nathan David Willis.
Kaylee Melissa Silhaver.
August Frederick Vendigena.
Savannah Noel Gillen.
Trey Jameson Zosh.
Bailey Elizabeth Harmon.
Charlie Christian Whitrock.
Aiden Patrick Hall.
Madison Taylor Wagner.
Kaylee Madison Elquist.
Michael Christian Stitch.
Anthea Gabrielle Gower Daniels.
Sophia Nicole Swisher.
Michael Joseph Carl Kinzior.
Jeff Anthony Tigler.
Jordan Ann Gent.
Kyle David Thompson.
Brant Philip Hanneman.
Alexa Christine Zadra.
Caden Lee Hanneman.
Lauren Denise Van Fleet.
Gabrielle Hope Hedinga.
Anna Mackenzie Ward.
Avery Bliss Hendrick.
Riley Marie Wood.
Alicia Lee Freeman.
Michael Bernard Verdicio.
Morgan Taylor Garvey.
Emily Rose Wassenaar.
You want me to get after it? Richard Albert Giambruno II.
Hannah Gail Ward.
Braden Matthew Gould.
Tyson John Topkoff.
Ryan James Hawkins.
Jacob Andrew Seal.
Drew Daniel Heinz.
Ciara Noel Williams.
Carrie Christina Ellis.
Lindsay Jane Weedle.
Catherine Sophia Higgins.
Sydney Ann Wenstrom.
Lene Christina Johnson.
Sarah Lauren Woods.
Lucas Riley Henderson.
Grant William Streeter.
I get Clara. Clara Rose K.
William James Zach.
Tyler Nicholas Harshbarger.
Amin Zaman Safi.
Nikita Jeffrey Heights.
Olivia Grace Stenman.
Callum Thomas Henwood.
Kylie Nicole Sullivan.
Gage Elias Catrana.
Samantha Brooke White.
Joshua Trent Hutchins.
Jacqueline Emerald Shand.
Amethyst Rosewind Kellogg.
Michaela Nicole Sterner.
Tanner Colby Dean Johnson.
Joseph Francis Russ.
Cody James Feringer.
Everest Ferris Stalker.
Caden Boyd Freeze.
Travis Lee Welch.
Caden James Johnson.
Allison Jean Smith.
Adam Ellick Johnson.
Mersal Safi.
Caleb Michael Gardner.
Annalise Dora Chaser.
Connor James Jones.
Michaela Jordan Spearing.
Chase Hampton Halsey.
Emma Sue Cipher.
Connor Anthony Grimes.
Austin Allen Valdez.
Elizabeth Paige Hosick.
Calvin Thomas Silvius.
Carolyn Yoshiko Ho.
Bryce Keenan Williams.
Adele Dahlia Huckabee.
Tanner Gabriel Spitzer.
Ethan Greg Preston Elmore.
Nikki Craig Wallen.
Trevor Brian Keikos.
Jamila Kerar Said.
Ali Louise Fitch.
McKenna Lynn Smith.
Natalie Catherine Hansel.
Ethan Riley Witzel.
Braden Allen Faircloth.
Damon Sebastian Thompson.
Wyatt Jackson Giels.
Reese Lamar Sparks.
Jordan Ethan Fillingham.
Logan Wade Trout.
Joseph Scott Samuel Christian Hunter.
Colton Alexander Shea.
Anna Bush Garrett.
Hannah Maureen Scott.
Alec David Jackson.
Jenna Elise White.
Kayla Suzanne Gunsels.
Thomas Charles Starr.
Blake Andrew Gerald Johnson. We'll now take the time to read the names of graduates who couldn't be here today. Allison Taylor German. Blaine Austin Harwood. Jacob Andrew Gifford. Savannah Lynn Gilbert. Jaslyn Andrea Ellis. Kevin Max Hinton. Jonathan Morgan Hong. Jaden Elise Hood. Parker Wesley Huey. Grace Giovanna Indiano. Savannah Nicole Jacobs. Grant Alden Jensen. Jaden James Kaiser.
Ashley Sierra Schultz. Jacqueline Nayeli Serrano Mendez. Cadence Marie Shipman. Matthew Thomas Skerrick. Joshua Philip Streeter. Monet Kellis Tate. Noah Spencer Tugwell. Mina Sue Walker. Brian Joel Walters. Nicole Bailey Warren. Patrick Clayton Weber. Charlie Leon Williford IV. Brandon Jacob Williams. Michael Cameron Yorkie. Griffin Chancellor Zahorik.
Congratulations, Ponderosa class of 2020. My name is Danielle Magyar, and during my 4 years at Ponderosa, I have been a part of the National Honor Society, Sources of Strength, and the volleyball program. I will be attending Colorado Mesa University in the fall to major in secondary education mathematics. It is my greatest honor to introduce our faculty speaker. This well-known teacher is a school-wide favorite and was chosen by the senior class to introduce the class of 2020. He has been an educator for 22 years and has been teaching the Ponderosa Mustangs for the last 17 years. He teaches all math, from algebra to statistics to calculus. He had told me that he considers himself more of a math therapist than a math teacher. He has 2 wonderful children who will soon be part of the Ponderosa community as well. Please welcome our very own Mr. Mike Lynch.
Well, good morning, Ponderosa friends, family, faculty, and graduating class of 2020. You made it, huh? This is a tremendous day. This is a tremendous occasion. When I was presented with this honor, to leave you that one final message, that last teachable moment, I couldn't help but think back to when you guys were 8th graders in spring of 2016. Do you guys remember that, some of you? You were 8th graders. You were so cute, right? There you were, and you came to the Ponderosa 9th grade breakfast, and it was my job to leave you the first message, and the first message was how to do the roller coaster. You remember that, right? Yeah. The first one was a tricky one. What we did was, we had to do it all together, right? We had to reach up and grab our harnesses, and on 3, we brought it down. You guys remember that, correct? So ready? Reach up, grab your harnesses. On 3, bring them down. 1, 2, 3. Shh. I love it. I love it. And that was your first lesson that I got to teach you. Well, now I get to leave you with one final lesson. Today, your 4-year ride on that Mustang Express comes to an end. But that being said, with that message that I want to give to you, I want to go back to something that I've said to many of you guys that were in my class when I was about ready to hand back a really just brutal math test. Okay, I did that a lot in my career, and I apologize now. I would say this. I would say, remember. Now, this is before I handed them back. I would say, remember, there is no test in this world that indicates what kind of person you are. Do you remember that? You remember that. I hope you do remember that. Okay, there's a second part to. Now, there are some of you that would be like, but Mr. Lynch, that's what you guys sound like, by the way. But Mr. Lynch, Miss Heaton teaches us there's a personality test in psychology class. Yeah, that's a different test, sorry. But there's no academic test in this world that indicates what kind of person you are. Well, there's a second part, and it goes like this. So just having celebrated Father's Day, it's appropriate that this story involves my own father. And we had the conversation just this last Sunday, and it was actually kind of interesting to reminisce. Now, this was my senior year. It was 1991, okay? I was actually your age, and my father was 46 at the time. He was my age. So what ended up happening? Now, this is going to get kind of gross here for a second, so I'm going to apologize. I get home from work, my sister's there, and she's in a panic, and she said, they just took Dad to the hospital. I said, okay, what's going on? We didn't know what was going on, but here's what we found out. We get to the hospital, he had thrown up, okay, here comes the gross stuff, okay, warning, listen away if you've got a weak stomach. He had thrown up, and it had tore a 2-inch vertical gash down his esophagus. Right? And I know some of you are gasping, and right away it does. It sounds immediately painful, right? But here's the deal. It's the recovery that is arduous and brutal. We would later find out that my father would have a 15% chance of surviving this accident. It was so rare. Okay? So there he was. Now, for weeks, almost a month, he was at the ICU in Ponderosa Hospital in Colorado Springs. Okay, what they had to do, because when you tear that gash in your esophagus, all those gastric juices, I promised you some grossness, here it comes, right? All those gastric juices went into his chest cavity. They attacked his heart, and they attacked his lungs. And the infection, again, like I said, was awful. Here's what they had to do. They took half-inch rubber tubes, and they stuck one, like in a hole, literally between his ribs, into his lungs, and they stuck out. And they went into a drainage unit that were about the size of a suitcase, and they hung those 2 drainage units for either lung. They hung them on either side of his hospital bed. Now, the hardest part was this for me. The hardest part was that man to me was invincible. He was 6'4", and you did not cross my father, right? But he was invincible as heck. But I could see something in his eyes that bothered me. He'd given up. He'd quit, and he didn't know that he was going to make it. Well, as he stared into his adversity at that moment, after weeks became months, we got a visit. Now, this visit was from an old coaching friend of my father's. His name was Coach Barnett. So after several months, this was months, mind you, in the hospital, Coach Barnett shows up for a visit. And my mom explains to Coach Barnett the direness of the situation. My father is not going to be able to fight this infection unless he is able to get up on his own and start walking. Now, it was at that point I owe Coach Barnett, and as does my father, the best halftime speech of his life. What happened? You got that coach's look on his face. Now, I don't mean to pick on Coach Huff, but you can see it. Look at him. Look at him. He's very pensive right now. He's focused. He's focused. The color of the skin tone is changing a little bit, right? And you know not to mess with a coach that's about ready to give a halftime speech. You don't do that. Well, when Coach Barnett, he looked at us and he said, hey, everybody, I need to speak to your father for a minute. Okay. And we honored that. I mean, you can see it in Coach Huff's eyes right now, right? He gives you that look, you step out. And that's what we did. So we honored his request. We took our place in the waiting room down the hall. And that's when Coach Barnett gave this amazing halftime speech to my father. And I will remember it as the second part of that statement. It's what I like to call the, okay, so now what? And he said it just like that. I'm not exactly sure how the conversation went. That remains between the two of those old coaches, right? But voices were raised. Tensions boiled over to a crescendo as those words came booming from Coach Barnett's mouth. Okay, Lynch, so now what? That's what he said. Well, again, the arguing went on and on and on. The doctors and the nurses, they looked at us. They're like, should we intervene on this? And we're like, yeah, that's a coach giving a halftime speech. Right, Huffer? Yeah, you don't interrupt a coach giving a halftime speech. Well, things quieted down a little bit. Coach Barnett walks out of the hospital room where my father was at, which was kind of funny because my father didn't have a choice. He was basically laid up in the hospital bed. He wasn't going anywhere, and he had to listen to every single word that came out of Coach Barnett's mouth. Well, when Coach Barnett comes out of the room, like the quiet after the storm, he's got that little victory smile. You know the one that coaches will give, like, I just gave a great halftime speech. I did it. And he had this smile. He hugged my mom. He looked at me, and he said, John Michael, your father's ready to go for a walk. Now, mind you, that doesn't sound like sounds like a menial task, right? But for my father, who had been laid up in a hospital bed for months and had not walked in a long time, those were huge words. So I walked into the room. There's a nurse. She's standing there, and she's trying to get my father onto his feet. It took several of us to get him up there because he's got that big 6'4" frame. We get him up there. They bring in a wheelchair, not for him to take a ride, no. They put that wheelchair in front of him so he can brace himself. What they put in that wheelchair were those two big drainage unit suitcases with those rubber tubes sticking out of the sides of his ribs. And they said, all right, here's a strap. And they hand me the strap, and they say, okay, just make sure your dad doesn't fall. They gave me that task. That was a fun one, right? And although that was a very short walk down a hospital hallway and back, well, turns out that was the beginning of a recovery. And he beat those odds of that 15% of survival. And I'm glad to say that on Father's Day this last week, we were able to spend that time together, and I was able to give him a copy of this speech for Father's Day. What ends up happening is that's the second part of the statement, okay? It is true. There is no test in this world that tells what kind of person you are. It doesn't indicate what kind of person you are. Now, I say that because in teacher speak, that meant for me, I was basically handing you back a test that I knew some of you didn't do well on. Okay, so be it. And that was teacher speak for, yeah, you didn't do so well. It was like I was handing out trail mix. Some of you guys know I was handing out trail mix, and some of you guys were going to get a handful of trail mix that didn't have any M&Ms in it, right? You guys know the ingredients of trail mix. I've said this to some of you. What are the ingredients of trail mix? There's two ingredients. There's M&Ms, and there's disappointment, right? M&Ms and disappointment. And for somebody like me, sometimes the raisins are like a double disappointment. No bueno. No thank you. But at any rate, when I handed that test back that you didn't do well on, or any teacher handed you any test back in your academic career, did you take inventory of the things you struggled with or the things that you could do to improve? Is that what you did? Maybe. Did you seek out help from others, like the smart kid in class? We always call them the smart kid in class, or a tutor, or maybe the teacher themselves. Did you make a promise to yourself to work harder? Maybe that's what you did. Were you able to pick yourself up dust yourself off, get back on that horse, and fail forward, right? Fail forward. That's the biggie. What did you do in your okay, so now what moment? Well, in life, it just so happens, and you guys know this is very cliche, I get it. But in life, you're going to take a handful of Life Trail mix, and you're going to look down every once in a while, and you're going to notice there's going to be no M&Ms, man. Man, the fruit of the gods. Whoever invented M&Ms, bless their heart. Whew, love them M&Ms. When that happens, and you're staring down adversity, and you're having your okay, so now what moment? Are you going to take inventory on your strengths and your weaknesses? Are you going to seek out those people that you love, admire, and respect for some help? Will you make a promise to not give up to yourself, your family members, and those that you love? Will you be able to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, get back on that horse, and fail forward? It's going to happen. It's a guarantee that it's going to happen, right? Again, when the dust settles, okay, so now what? Well, everything in life doesn't go as planned, right? Okay, so now what? Maybe you'll find yourself grappling with moments that feel absolutely defeating. Okay, we get it. So now what? Maybe you've lost someone or something that's really important to you. Okay, so now what? Maybe this global pandemic comes along, right? And everybody's like, well, maybe. Maybe this global pandemic comes along and it feels as though it took away every senior memory that you felt entitled to. I get it. It stunk, right? And the question was, okay, so now what? Well, Ponderosa High School, here's what. Oh, I ain't done. Oh, Party America failed me. That's okay. We have a backup. You guys like this one better anyway, right? Ponderosa High School graduating class of 2020, on behalf of the faculty here, my family, we wish you congratulations. Now, today I'm going to sound a little selfish for just a minute. Today is not just a celebration for you, it is a celebration of you. Your family, your community, the faculty. We've vested too much time in you, as have you, to let this moment go uncelebrated, right? And so today, that's what this is about. It is a celebration for you. It is a celebration of you. Now, we know that, I want you to know that you are bold, you are bright, and you are beautiful, just like the future that lays before you. Cool? You dig? All right. Ponderosa High School graduating class of 2020. If you do me the honors, reach under your shoulders on those little safety harnesses that we strapped in just a second ago. On the count of 3, go ahead and release. 1, 2, 3. Thank you for your final ride on the Mustang Express. Ponderosa High School graduating class of 2020, you go out there and you keep making us proud. You're already off to an amazing start. Go Mustangs.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lynch, for that. Now I am excited to introduce our very final speaker, fellow student and classmate, Cameron Klein. Cameron has been a part of the National Honor Society and was a DECA officer for 2 years. He played on our varsity soccer team and was a team captain his last 2 years. He will be attending the University of Colorado at Boulder to study business administration. Please welcome Cameron Klein.
Thank you, Danielle. Wow, Mr. Lynch has got me wanting to run through a wall right now. Let's give him a hand. All right. Graduates, parents, the respectable staff of Ponderosa High School, as well as Mr. Cordray. Good morning, and congratulations to the graduating Ponderosa class of 2020. I am honored to stand before you today to represent the graduating class of 2020, the most attractive class in Ponderosa history. Give yourselves a hand. Yeah, you guys did it. To all my fellow seniors, you did it. Against all odds, you survived. Let's recap our senior year a little bit. We saw World War III developing before our eyes, wildfires burning our planet down, basketball legend Kobe Bryant passing away, murder hornets entering America, and to top it off, an international pandemic completely altering life as we know it. And murder hornets are the least talked about item on that entire list. People were not lying when they told us senior year would be one we would never forget. Today, I'd like to reminisce about times before we were bombarded by constant Zoom calls and before it was suddenly acceptable to cross the street just at the sight of another person. A time when your biggest fear was Miss Hogan calling your mom if you're 2 minutes late to class. Yes, I'm talking about 3 months ago. I think we all can agree that we have been so lucky to have such a strong cast of support that it is our faculty at Ponderosa. Not only have they given us the power of knowledge, they've taught us a few life lessons along the way. One of the first that comes to mind comes from our very own security guard, Leonard, whose valuable wisdom echoed through the halls at 8 a.m. every single morning. Students, no vaping in the Pondo parking lot. While many of you will take this at face value, I think Leonard was trying to share a deeper message with us. Take care of yourself, both mentally and physically. Throughout your life, there will be many hardships and temptations that will try to steer you off your path of happiness and success. After school, the only structure you have will be the one you create. So it'll be important to find passions that keep you satisfied and not have you cuffed in the back of Deb's golf cart. Through these hard times, it's important for all of us to look forward and persevere, not succumbing to the desire temptation brings. As the great Prime Minister Winston Churchill once said, if you're going through hell, keep going. As you can see now, hard times have fallen on all of us. But I encourage you, class of 2020, to stand strong to your morals and stay the course. If given the chance to vape in the parking lot, just say no. Another life lesson I've learned from the esteemed faculty of Ponderosa comes from the dynamic duo of Mr. Brett Weller and Mr. Gary Cordray, who taught this valuable lesson to the majority of the 2020 class in our junior year. Staple your papers before class. I believe what they were trying to say was to be prepared for any and all situations life can throw at you. Rely on your own wit and work ethic to be prepared, because sometimes you get to class and all the staplers are gone. Life is very unpredictable and full of surprises, which I know many of you learned already. Whether it's stapling a few papers before class or being mandated by the government to stay inside for 3 months, be part of the solution, not the problem. Be ready to adapt and take advantage to whatever life throws at you. This final life lesson doesn't come from a faculty member, but advice I give to you. It doesn't matter what Mustang Minute said. Never stop following your dreams. In my 4 years at Ponderosa, I've had the privilege of working closely with so many smart and talented people. Take a look around you, class of 2020. 6 feet away, There might be a future nurse like Alexandra Chahosky, a future SNL cast member like Griffin Zahorik, a future NFL Hall of Famer like Ben Beecher, a future World's Strongest Man contestant like Blake Johnson. And if you're lucky, you might be sitting next to future YMCA Rec League 3-point champion, Luke Billy. Here at Ponderosa, we have dreams as big as Mr. Lynch's calves. You guys should see him. And after working closely with many of you, I know you have what it takes to reach those dreams. The only thing that has a chance of stopping you is fear. Whether you fear that your parents don't approve of your decisions, you fear the unknown, or you fear failure, I ask you to listen to this quote I pinned to my Notable Quotables Pinterest board. Fear is temporary, but regret is forever. So run towards failure. Embrace it. Failure is what truly crafts who we are. At the end of the day, no one will remember your failures, but you will always live with the regret if you never try in the first place. When you're 90 years old, sitting in the nursing home, there is no rewind button. So, starting today, the first day of your real life, I ask you all to choose to live without regret. As the great Michael Jordan once said, the ceiling is the roof. So keep going and keep working through the good and the bad, and don't stop until you find your ceiling or your roof or whatever the heck Michael Jordan meant. While my fellow speakers spoke about dying in space and having fruit thrown at you and a dangerous obsession with M&Ms, I'll just leave you with this. Believe in yourself, cherish your friends, and go through life with a positive attitude. Sure, our senior year could be put in the worst case scenario column, but hey, it can only get better from here. It's time we find our new adventures, we fight for what's right, and we never stop living. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Alexandra Chahosky, and it has been an honor to have participated in many clubs and activities during my time at Ponderosa, such as DECA, tennis, National Honor Society, and our student council all 4 years, ending this year as a co-president. In the fall, I will be attending the Creighton University School of Nursing to eventually receive a doctorate with a minor in Spanish. Now, it is my honor to introduce to you our valedictorian, Ty Martins, and our salutatorian, Kayla Fairweather. Ty believes he has a desire to better himself and the lives of others, and believes this was crucial in his academic success, as he earned a GPA of 4.44 throughout high school. Kayla, our salutatorian, earned a GPA of 4.41 and attributes this to her ability to set new goals and put forth the effort to reach those goals. Now please welcome our valedictorian and salutatorian for the class of 2020.
Thank you, Alexandra. The time is finally here. Graduates, please turn your tassels from right to left.
Thanks for a great 4 years, Ponderosa. And here's to the best that's still yet to come. Thanks for coming, and make sure you eat some M&Ms in Mr. Lynch's honor today. Thank you.
that jump, you don't feel the fall. Hope when the water rises, you built a wall. Hope when the crowd screams out, you're screaming your name. Hope if everybody runs, you choose to stay. Hope that you fall in love and it hurts so bad. Hey, the only way you can know, you give it all you had. And I hope that you don't suffer, but take the pain. Hope when the moment comes, you'll say, I did it all. I did it all. I owned every second that this world could give. I saw so many places, the things that I did. Yeah, with every broken bone, I swear I lived. Hope that you spend your days, but they all add up.